Hello everyone. In this session, we will learn about exception handling in Java programming. So before moving with the concepts of try, catch and finally block, let me briefly note the things of basics of exception handling. We in the last session we have already seen that an exception is an event which occurs during the execution of a program and that interrupts the normal flow of the program. So all exceptions are usually handled by the Java compiler, and when an exception occurs, compiler provides an error message and terminates the program. So now consider a program performing 5 tasks, and if any exception occur, say in second task, then the program will be terminated at that point and the remaining 3 tasks will not be executed. And also the error message displayed by Java is not so much easy to understand for end user. So now here user expects two things. If exception is in second task, then except second task, remaining task should be executed and the error message should be easy to understand. So to solve this problem, programmer has to explicitly handle the exceptions. And so there are many different reasons for the occurrence of the exceptions. That is invalid input by user, a file that needs to be opened cannot be found, server is down or network is failed, printer or scanner is not working. So these type of exceptions generate because of user error, program error or a physical resources such as printer or scanner that have failed in some manner. So these types of exceptions we need to handle in our programming. So there are basically two types of exceptions we have already seen, checked and unchecked exception. Please go through the previous session of exception handling where I have completed the basics of exception handling. You will get all the notes of basics. So we have already seen what is checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions. We have already seen the types of exceptions like IO exceptions, SQL exception, class not found exception, interrupted exception, array index out of bound exception, null pointer exception, arithmetic exception and number format exception. So all these types of exceptions are built-in exception of Java, and we also seen that the meaning of all these types of exception in the previous session. So now moving ahead, we are seeing in this session like what is try block, what is catch block and what is finally block in exception handling. So let us start with a try block. A try is the block in which we have to write the code in which exception may occur. Like if we think that this is the code or in this particular code I think that here might be an exception occur, then we will writing that code in a try block. Try is a keyword. Now it is responsibility of a programmer to guess the code in which the exception may occur. So try block in which we have to write the code, that is where the exception may occur. A try block must be followed by a catch or finally block or both. Remember, if there is one try, then compulsory try block should be followed by a catch block. There should have at least one catch block. What is catch block? We will be seeing it further. So remember that a try block must be followed by a catch or a finally block or a both. So when an exception occurs in try block, it throws the exception which is represented by an object of a catch block. For suppose if I have written one code and I feel that in that code there will be an exception. So that code I will be writing it into a try block. And if suppose that code occurs an exception, then that exception will be handled by a catch block. So this is the concepts of try block. Let us see an example of a try block. There is a syntax of try block, that is try curly bracket, inside the curly bracket there will be a code which you feel that in there will be an exception. So that code we will be writing into a try block. So this is the syntax of try block. Next there is a catch block. Now this block is also known as an exception handler, and when an exception is thrown by a try block, then the suitable matching catch block catches the exception and handles it. So as I said, the try block will be containing the code, and if in that code exception occurs, then it will throw it to a suitable catch block. So if there is a try, then compulsory there will be a catch block. It can be a multiple catch block for in one try. one try block, there can be a multiple catch block, and according to the exception occur, the try block will throw the exception to the respective catch block. So the when an exception is thrown by a try block, then the suitable matching catch block catches the exception and handles it. So in this block we have to create object of a particular exception as argument, and here we can give the easy to understand error message to be displayed when exceptions occur. So if there is a exception in a try block, then catch block will be handling it, and we will be displaying message to a user to handle the catch block. So let us see an example. Here is a simple example of division and addition. In this example, I have created one class named as ABC. In that class, I have declared a main statement, and in that I have declared two variables. A is assigned to 0 and B is assigned to 0, and it is a type of integer variable. Also, there is a result variable named as res. So now A and B values, we will be taking it from a user, that is it will be an user input values. So I have converted into an integer values, like A is equal to integer dot parseInt. It is a method of integer. So A is equal to integer dot parseInt args 0, that is argument 0, and similarly B is equal to integer dot parseInt args 1, that is argument 1. So here I will be taking two inputs from the user. Now that two inputs I will be writing it into a logic for that given input. The variable res. Now res variable stores the value of a divided by b, and it will print the result in the following statement, like system.out.println division is whatever will be the result it will display. Now again res is equal to a plus b written, like addition program will give the output and it will be stored in an res variable. So here also res variable will store the result of addition and it will be printed again. Now in this case, if the values of a and b, that is they are the user input values, and if user inputted value of a as 10 suppose and value of b as 20, so 10 divided by 20, it will give the answer of division whatever it is, and it will be give the addition also. So this will work properly if the values are non-zero. Now suppose user give an input a as 10 and b as 0. Now 10 divided by 0, it will give an exception, like it will not run the program, and because the division program logic is not running, it will not go ahead, and res is equal to a plus b, that logic will not be running. So it will terminate the program in the division itself, because it will show an exception in a division. So addition block will not be executed in this case, and it will give the output as exception in thread main. So in this case, if first answer is terminated, it will not go to the second line. So this is the simple example of addition program. So in this case, what we will be doing is we will be using a try and catch block. Whatever code I think that it will give an exception, I will write that code into a try block, and a suitable catch block I will write to handle the given try block. So here let's see another example where I have used try and catch block, and it is the same example which we have seen previous. Here I have taken one class and named as XYZ. In that class I have written a main statement and taken an input values, declared a variable like int a is equal to 0, b is equal to 0, and res, that is a, b and res are a variable of type integer. I had assigned a value a as 0, b as 0, and now I think that there will be an exception in a division block, so I will be writing that code into a try block as declare try, as try is a keyword, and in that write the code. Take the user input a and b, store the answer of a divided by b into res variable, and print the result. So the try block will be containing the code where I think the exception may occur, and for that try block there will be a suitable catch block. So in the catch block I had written the arithmetic exception. I had given the name of the exception, that is arithmetic exception. Which type of exception may occur? I think it will be an arithmetic exception because I am giving an arithmetic code, that is a divided by b is a arithmetic code. So I have to write a name of arithmetic exception and create an object of that arithmetic exception as e. So here I had created an arithmetic exception e, that means I have created an object of arithmetic exception, and in that I will write a message that will be easy to understand to the user, that is cannot divide by 0. This is an error message that will display to the user if there is an exception in an above code. After that I had written another logic of addition, that is res is equal to a plus b. In any case addition logic will be working, like if user had given non-zero or user had given a 0 value, in any of the cases the addition logic should work. So I had not written into a try block, neither it contains any a catch block. So res is equal to a plus b and it will give a correct answer. So see here it is given in a red color, that if user inputted a values like 10 and 0, we will be getting, and user will be getting a error message like cannot divided by 0 and answer of addition is 10. So this is the overall output of the given following program. Next we will see nested try. Now nested try here is writing try catch inside another try block is known as a nested catch. Means there will be an try inside a try catch. Inside a try catch. So here given a syntax like there is inner try and outer try. Now here it is outer try, here it is inner try. Now in one try there is an inner try catch and then a followed by outer catch block. So this is the syntax of nested try catch. Let us see an example. Similar example is given like we have seen in previously, but use of nested try. So see here it is demonstration of nested try catch. One class is created. In that class there is a main statement. 3 variables are declared. They are an integer type variable, int a, b and div. Now the outer try block is declared and there is an inner try block inside the outer try block. So in an inner try block there are 2 user inputs taken, a and b, and the div variable will store the result of a divided by b, and the answer is printed here in system.out.println. Division is div. So in the inner try block there is a code which may contains an exception later. So that code is written into an inner try block. Now that inner try block should be followed with a catch block, and here catch block is declared with an arithmetic exception and created with an object e. In that catch block an easy to understand error message is displayed, that is cannot divided by a 0. So the inner try catch block contains a logic of division, and if the exception occurred it is handled by a inner catch block. Now there will be an outer catch block for an outer try block, and in that outer catch block there is an exception like array index out of bound exception. Now array index out of bound exception is a type of exception, and it is created with an object e. So here there is another error message displayed, that is insufficient argument. So in this case the output will be, if the user given input as 5 and 0, the output will be cannot divided by the 0, and if another input is given like 4 and 5, then it will shows an insufficient argument. So this is the simple example of nested try catch block. Next we will see a finally block. Now the code written in finally block gets executed even if the error occurs which is not handled by the program. Like we have seen that if there is an error message, then whole program may get terminated in earlier cases if we does not use try and catch block. Now we have seen that if we are using a try and catch block, we can handle the exceptions. Like if there are multiple cases and if the second case the exception occurs, then by skipping the second case, third and fourth will execute it. We have seen that we will be using a try block to handle the code, and if to write the code into that, if any exceptions occur, it will be handled by a respected catch block. So now there is a finally block, and finally block, then in that the code is written with, and that code will be executed even if the error occurs which is not handled by the program. Means finally block will get executed in all the cases, whether there is exception or whether there is not an exception, the finally block will compulsory get executed. Let us see with an example. So here in example, like the example is given like previous example only. The class is created as exception 2. In that there is a main statement like public static void main string args, and here three variables are declared, a, b and res. A variable is a type of integer variable and it is assigned a value 0. B is also assigned a value 0. Now there is a try block, and in try block there is two user defined user inputs taken, like a is equal to integer dot pass int args 0 and b is equal to integer dot pass int args 1. Now the variable res will store the result of a divided by b, and the the answer of result is printed. Now there is a catch block followed to a try block, and in that catch block arithmetic exception is declared with an object variable e, and in that the error message is displayed like cannot divided by 0. There is another catch block. As I said, a single try block may have multiple catch block. So here there is another second catch block like array index out of bound exception, and similarly here is an error message displayed as insufficient memory, insufficient argument. So after a try and catch block, you will see that there is a finally block, and in that finally block there is a logic of addition, and that is stored into a res variable, and then the answer is printed. So if the exceptions occur in a divided by b code, suppose exceptions occurs in a divided by b code, it will not get affected to a addition code. So the addition code, that is the code which is written into a finally block, will get executed even if exception is not handled. The exception may occur or may not occur, the code which is written into a finally block will compulsory get executed. So this is the use of finally block, that is whatever we want to run the program or run the output compulsory, or we may think that there will be no exceptions and that have to be printed, then that we have to write into a finally block. In any of the cases, whatever it may be, there may be an exception or there may not be an exception, the code written into a finally block will compulsory get executed. This is the use of finally statement. Thank you. I hope you all have been cleared with a try block, catch block and finally block. Let me summarize what we have seen still so far. We have seen a try block, and try block is the block in which we have to write the code in which the exceptions may occur, and a try block must be followed by a catch or finally block or a both. Then we seen the syntax of try block, and in the catch block, that is catch block is followed by a try block. So this block is also known as an exception handler. When an exception thrown by a try block, then the suitable matching catch block catches the exception and handles it. If there is a try block, compulsory there will be a catch block. If there is a single try block, there can be a multiple catch block. We have seen the example of try block and a catch block. The code which we have think that there will be an exception, we will be writing it into a try block, and if there is a try block, then there will be a suitable catch block to handle the above exceptions. We have seen the nested try block. Nested try block means writing try catch inside another try block is known as nested try catch. We seen with the syntax and an example. We seen a finally block, that is the code written in finally block get executed even if the error occurs which is not handled by the program. Means finally block get executed in all the cases. We have seen the program which contains a try block, two catch block, and a finally block. Try block, here there is a code which I think there will exceptions occurs. Then there, to handle that exception, there are two catch blocks, arithmetic exception and array index out of bound exception. So whatever will be then exception, it will go to an respective catch block. Then there is a finally block at last, and the finally block, as we all know, the code written into a finally block will executed compulsory. So there may be an exception, or may not be an exception. Finally block will execute it. So in this session we have learned about try block, catch block, and finally block, as well as we have seen that nested or try catch block. I hope you have been clear with these concepts. Thank you so much.